Hey everybody, Todd here, and I do hope you're having a great week. Today I'm going to take a look at a 500 series compressor. It's the DBX 560A. Now, DBX compression has been a studio staple for decades. You can go just about anywhere and you'll see multiple units racked up and in use. The 560A, of course, is a 500 series module that carries on that tradition of DBX 160 style compression. And I think it's a great choice for a home or project studio because in the 500 series we can get a lot more gear in less space. Now, whether it's your first compressor or you're thinking about adding multiple channels, at the time of recording, the 560A sells for about $275 US. It makes it very affordable, but don't be fooled, studios are using these everywhere. And one of the things I really like about the DBX 560A is the simplicity of the controls. That really applies to the DBX series of compressors in general, but this being a 500 series, it's really nice because things aren't too crowded. Now, in terms of controls, we have a bypass switch. Bypass is really nice. We can A/B with and without the compressor. And we've got an input and output selector for the level meter. So again, we can take a look at the level coming in or out, depending what we want. And we have a OverEasy switch, a DBX famous OverEasy setting. And as you see from the graph on the screen, this basically changes the way the compressor reacts at the threshold. So whether we want a hard cutoff or a little bit of a softer cutoff. Then in terms of controls, we have a threshold, which gives us anywhere from -40 all the way to +20 dB. We've got a ratio control from 1:1 to infinity, and then beyond infinity, in fact, which allows us to get compression below the threshold if we're wanting to do that for special situations. Then we have a makeup gain essentially here, output trim, and anywhere from -30 to +20 dB. So again, just to balance out any loss that's happening as a result of compression. So really nice again for A/B testing. Now I've got a few samples up here in Studio One. I've got drums, bass, acoustic guitar, and vocals. Let's just hear, and I'll go through a few settings just so you can get a sense of what you can do with this compressor. And starting out here with it on bypass. And of course, it's a little more extreme than what we do in some cases, but it'll give you an idea of the range of the compressor. Now we'll go ahead and listen to bass, and we'll see what we can do with that. And again, starting out with the bypass on. Okay, and so a lot of versatility there on bass. Really smooth. You can either make it so you really hear the compression, or you can make it a little more subtle. Again, in these demos, I'm trying to be a little more extreme in some cases, just so you can really hear what's going on. But hopefully that gives you an idea. Now we'll go ahead and listen to some acoustic guitar. and so again, a lot of flexibility on acoustic guitar. Lastly, I'll take a look at vocals.
Right now, it's all falling apart. Right now, you don't know where to start. Right now, the walls are caving in. Right now, you don't know where to begin. Right now, you're searching high and low. And right now, you don't know where to go. Right now, you hear the thunder roar. Right now, it feels like you lost the war. Right now, it's all falling apart. Right now, you don't know where to start. Right now, the walls are caving in. Right now, you don't know where to begin.
And to give you an idea of any self-noise the 560A might generate, I went ahead and set up this test. It is not scientific, but I threw a spectrum analyzer on the master bus. Now I have the 560A connected directly up to my Orion 32+ Gen 3, which is virtually dead silent. There is nothing from it. And so the other thing is all my analog gear is turned on in the racks. There's about 30 pieces here. So I'm basically creating as much interference as I possibly can. And as you can see, we're really not getting anything more than kind of above minus 105 dB. Even in here, yeah, most we creep up to is maybe minus 100, 101 dB. So if you think about it, if you're making recordings in the minus 18 to minus 12 range, there's going to be plenty of separation here. Even for quiet instruments, no issues with noise using this compressor. Now, in terms of build quality, I really have nothing to complain about with the 560A. The knobs are all very solid. There's no play. They're not sloppy. The buttons have a nice positive click in and out. Really, it performs just as well as many of my other 500 series modules that are far more expensive. So if you think again with the price, if you think you're going to get a cheap unit that you can't use on a daily basis, that is not the case here. Again, these things are being used everywhere, day in and day out. You can expect this to last. Now, for those that watch my reviews, you know I'm not going to spend a lot of time on features and specifications. There'll be links in the description below, plus more information. But a few key highlights with the unit is that it has a maximum input and output of plus 22 dBu, so plenty of signal level there. Dynamic range greater than 119 dB, and that's excellent. It means it's going to work with just about any source we want to use it with, so really nice to see there. This is not a noisy unit. It has that DBX 160 character, again, without introducing a lot of noise. So I think the specs actually, again, exceed the price point. And so I'll give you my final thoughts on the 560A. I'm going to say that this is an excellent choice if you want to add some analog compression up in a home or project studio. And of course, they're used in pro studios everywhere. This is a durable unit that far outperforms its price. Now, one of the great things about this is how easy it is to dial in on a variety of sources. So whether you want to use it on drums, bass, guitar, you want to use it for vocals. I'm using it for spoken word actually in this entire video, other than when we were doing the audio tests in the DAW. And I mean, it's very transparent compression. I've got it on a 4:1 ratio here, and I'm getting about probably about 4 to 5 dB of compression out of it right now, which is pretty typical for a voiceover type application. So if you wanted to use it for that too, it's going to do a great job. At this price point, you can afford to have multiple channels, at least build up to it over time. And so really, I think this is a good way to go. I absolutely recommend it. And if you're looking for other ways to integrate analog gear into your home and project studio, check out one of the videos on the screen. As always, I do really appreciate you joining me. It's great having you here, and I will see you next time.